He was the head of the Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research, CBER. There are two of these. The other one's called CDER. And these guys were in charge of vaccines and biologics. So all the things that you get nowadays for the advanced cancer therapies, etc. So the rumor around is that he was pushed. So his resignation letter is out there for everybody to read. I think he specifically points out the decisions that are being made as regards this, or conversations that are being had as regards to the safety of vaccines, especially the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, which is, of course, quite topical. So he's left, and it's relevant because he was, you can't say the regulator is a friend of, no regulator is a friend of anyone, right? Their job was to try and get good, effective products through. And he was a fan of good, effective products. The issue is difference of opinion.
So based on that, like with the flu shot and updated COVID-19 shots, like the regular stuff that we get every year, RSV vaccines, can we get that? Will it be available? Will it be approved?
Yeah, so the best example of, the best way to answer your question is that the decision has been made already by the FDA for this year's, so next season's, flu vaccine. So those things are happening. It's more about how you communicate your view about vaccines and what people are saying, and therefore people's confidence in vaccines. Remember, vaccines don't save lives. Vaccinations save lives. These are not my words. Somebody much more sage than me said that. They got to be in your arm for that effectiveness to take place. And especially for something like measles, you need more than 95% of people to have been vaccinated, taking us to that, remember that story of herd immunity? Because then when you're not, your barrier is too low and infections happen. So that's where we're at, and that's what the issue is really more about, rather than vaccines being available.
And for an FDA, you need them to obviously regulate the industry, but if, as you say, if good drugs, good therapies come along and are proposed by the industry, you want the FDA to prove them in a timely manner.
Correct.
And this guy, apparently Peter Marks, was known to be somebody you could work with.
He was, absolutely he was. Now, there will be another person, I'm assuming, there has to be, so people have to lead these parts of the institution and be able to assess drugs' safety and then efficacy. Are you paying? That is the angle. So I'm hoping, which the market currently, is in a world of shoot first, ask questions later. The market's seeing this as a negative. There's a pressure on the FDA, and they don't know uncertainty, right? They don't know where it's going and when it will settle down. And it's everywhere right now.
And then you add on the layer of tariffs. What is the risk for drugs when it comes to tariffs?
Yeah, so we think that the biggest exposure is actually in the world of generic drugs, which is an odd outcome, because what you want to do is have generics available here for people to use because they're cheap. But a lot of the active ingredients are imported. So that's probably where it's going to hit most, unless there's some clever structuring around how the tariffs are applied. The bigger, more important drugs like our favorites, Wegovy and Zepbound, I'm sure they're being manufactured here. The question is, what does manufacture mean? Some bits of it are made somewhere. There are syringes that are involved. Where are they made? What do you call, where is that manufacturing, and at what point does it impact? If it's on anything that comes into the country from somewhere else, it will impact the price.
So what is your industry saying, the healthcare industry broadly defined? What are they saying about tariffs? Is this something they're not a lot?
Not a lot. They're just saying we can absorb it, we can manage it. Now, and also, again, with the uncertainty, what can you say, right? Right. Let's see what happens tomorrow.
Okay. Also, when it comes to generics, can you manufacture them here in the U.S.?
Oh, of course you can.
But what would that be like?
Oh, but you have to build the infrastructure. Like the cars, you have to build the infrastructure.
What are we talking about? Billions dollars worth of investment?
I don't. Well, billions of dollars probably, but not tens of billions of dollars. The issue is also if the tariffs are just there as a tool to entice more trade, more fairer trade in the eyes of the administration, then that would be a way to solve it, right? Much quicker and easier. But if the ultimate aim is to onshore or reshore all the manufacturing, take it from pharmaceuticals to cars to whatever it is you want, then you want to be, they might have to be sticky for that to happen.